I woke up left out on the porch, making too much noise. Up all last night, baby, up all last night. Party all night long, there is nothing wrong, baby, it's alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Took a look at myself for a minute, I've been too washed out and I stopped to rethink it. Bad vibes are coming like waves, I had to decide why I wanna break down. For a minute it's okay to take a second just to let the intuition happen. You see how slowly definitions faded out of reminiscences on the past time. Drinking in new times, I'm having the best life. How we roll, 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 we've been dancing till we fall. Drinking red wine on the weekends just to run away. Go, 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 I don't want to let this feeling go. I woke up left out on the porch, making too much noise. Up all last night, baby, up all last night. Party all night long, there is nothing wrong, baby, it's alright. Everything's gonna be alright. I don't really care that outside is a mess. I just really wanna find a way out of the stress. I feel tired, I wanted to rewind.
Are you still counting us down? Or are we just going? We're good. We're live. We're live. All right, cool. Welcome, everybody, to Wine Talk with Tesh. I definitely know what I'm doing. I knew that we were live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another week, another couple of bottles to dive into with a good buddy of mine. I got to tell you guys the reason why I have Mr. Ryan Sherman here joining us. Ryan, say hi to the people, baby.
Hey, everybody. How we doing?
he might not be as excited about this as I am. No, I'm just kidding. Back in July, it was my sister's 40th birthday, and we're trying to find like a kind of a central location for me and some of my family members to go and have a tasting, because we just don't really do stuff like that, because my family is they don't drink wine or appreciate wine, I think, on the level that maybe I have, and even maybe I'd say like an average consumer. So lo and behold, they asked me to put it together, and I was like, yo, like, if you boys are gonna put it together, we got to go someplace dope. So naturally, I reached out to Ryan, because we've known each other for several years, and we just had a blast at your winery, man. Like, the wines are all incredible, but then you did this thing, and we'll talk about this wine in a minute. You did this thing where I was like, oh, you brought a bottle out. You're like, I brought this one for you. And I was like,
pull the sneaky.
Yeah. And I was like, and then I just got excited. And then it became like can I get some of that to share? And it became a thing. But we'll jump into that later. Ryan, thank you for making time. Thank you for being here, man.
Awesome. No, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it. Of
Who
course,
the hell
we've talked about it for the last couple of weeks. Who are you? Why are you on my feed?
For real though. Can you tell us? You and I have known each other for quite a few years now, and it stems back to my time at the kitchen, I believe, right?
Yeah. You were the main man at the kitchen, and my wife and I got a last minute reservation. As I think you obviously we talked about, but day job is real estate, and had a reason to celebrate, and randomly just called the kitchen very last minute, and they said, yeah, we had a cancellation, you can come join us, but you got to sit in the back. And I said, awesome, no problem. And they stuck me in the back of the room with Tesh and the rest of the service, beverage service people. And we had the time of our life, got to know you, drank some great wines. I think you even crushed me with some different whiskeys that night. And there was, I think I told you earlier, I think my wife poured me into a cab and sent me home that night. So
man, that's a lot of people have similar experiences, and I gotta tell you guys, man, the older I'm getting, the less and less that's becoming true. Like I'm a father, I have 2 kids myself, man. I like to have a good time, don't get me wrong, but those instances that you guys all kind of like paint on me for like being like, oh, we're gonna get hammered because Tesh is with us, that's on you guys now, because I'm starting to slow down. And I will say my slowdown probably looks a little bit different from your guys' slowdown. But no, so that was great. So you had a great time at the
No.
kitchen. I probably did get you hammered. That is
Yeah.
probably very true. Um,
I'm sure I was a very willing participant and probably nudged you in the correct direction.
Everyone always is, man. When the drinks start flowing, it's hard to say stop, right? Um, so,
Yeah.
but you've been in the wine game for quite some time, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I knew food and wine was a background that I had, but not from the making standpoint, just from the consumption standpoint, which, in hindsight, being part of a winery here, the consumption standpoint is the side of the fence to be on.
Right.
But no, we started out in real estate. Russ Fields bought the ranch and where the winery was soon to get started. But my background was science, chemistry, food, wine, entertainment from the pharmaceutical industry. I knew nothing about the making of it. And through that friendship with Russ and some other friends of ours, I mean, Bob Korok is another friend of ours, is into winemaking as well. And all of us kind of were just goofing around making home wine. And we kind of tried to get a little bit more serious about it. And I started taking some classes at UC Davis, and we brought on a consultant winemaker, Steve Carson, early on, who has his own label, which is Drava here in Lodi. You guys should check it out.
Okay.
But Steve kind of looked over our shoulder, and we kind of realized, hey, this is what we want to do. And so through learning, trial and error, making some really terrible wines on our way to try to understand and make some much better wines. So
You
yeah,
have to be
very much a
bad at what you
process, but
do. You have to be bad at what you do before you can be really, really exceptional at what you do, though.
yeah, no, I mean, I think you have to fail terribly, horrifically, embarrassingly before you become, find your way. So,
For
and we
sure.
did a lot of stuff. Yeah.
That's cool, man. So how long has that been now?
We started making wine around 2004, 2005. We were bonded and released our first wines in 2010. So we got bonded around 2009, 2008, 2009. I don't remember exactly. But we released our first wines in 2010, and those were the 2009 vintage.
Okay.
And yeah, so I mean, as far as being open and selling wine, I think this is our 11th vintage.
Mm-hmm.
10 plus years of having a tasting room open. And we're, we've grown. I mean, it was a really, can I say shitty business model. We launched with, we had 300 cases we started with. We sold those wines out and then just promptly closed the tasting room, and it wasn't the greatest business model. So we started ramping up production, and we've been as little as 1,000 cases and as many as maybe 15 or 1,600 cases. But I think 12 to 1,400, somewhere in there, 12 1,300 cases is kind of our sweet spot with keeping the day job right now.
Dope. I love that. I love that it's small production. Hey,
Yeah.
real quick, for those of you guys who
Yeah.
are at home, you didn't miss anything, Ralph. I kind of missed it. Fields Vermentino. Start with the Vermentino. And
Yeah.
hopefully Marianne got it in the fridge for you. Because yeah, I told her to put them in the fridge. I don't know if she did. She was busy with the kids. But yeah,
Other priorities, right?
man, man, we
So
have kids and that happens. So yeah, for those of you guys who are at home, please pour yourself the Vermentino and let's just jump right into it. I think I told you guys, if you checked your emails, nobody checks their emails. If you guys actually read it, I know that in that email I said, hey, let's just do chicken tacos. And I was going to leave it up for interpretation for you guys because we got like this cool white. And then we also have like a unique red. And I was just like, I just wanted to go with something that would just be easy. And Ryan can chime in. He might be like, yo, Tesh, chicken tacos was a terrible call for either of these wines.
no, I think that's these light gulpable, fun kind of crushable reds are awesome with don't overthink it, pop a bottle and have it with lasagna, have it with chicken tacos. You know, if you're too lazy like me, DoorDash yourself some Chipotle, you're fine. Go that route too.
For
But
sure.
no, yeah, I think it's a great choice.
All right, cool. So Ralph said that he did not have his wines in the fridge. You know what, Ralph? Try it room temp, man. Pop it open anyways. Um, I think it'll be interesting for you to be able to just try it at room temp. I do think that this wine shows better with the chill on it.
Yeah.
But try it anyways. Honestly, I think that the red would probably show fairly well with the light
Go
chill on it too.
pour a little taste. Go pour a little taste, and then stick the bottle in the freezer real quick. You know?
Beautiful, great advice. And then
Yeah.
James actually hit us with the first question that I was going to ask you, which I think is going to be everyone's question. And you know, I love
Yeah.
Vermentino, but Ryan, could you tell us about the varietal and where it comes from, and what we could liken it to?
Yeah. So no, Vermentino. I don't know how far down the weird wine geek rabbit hole, but you know, you've got Pagato, you've got Verdicchio. Um, you know, the French call it roll, but Vermentino. So Corsica, Sardinia. You know, coastal Italian. You know, Corsica is kind of, you know, northern, you know, part of the island where you're going to get maybe some more French type of influences. But these, if you're familiar with Kermit Lynch has been importing these wines for, you know, decades, I say, but super approachable, very affordable. And if you like light, lemon, citrus, verbena, those flavors. I tell people that are unfamiliar with Vermentino, if you like the acid and the brightness of Sauvignon Blanc, then you're going to probably be okay with Vermentino, and you're not going to have some of the, you know, the nuances to Sauvignon Blanc that people have their, you know, aversions to. But you know, lower alcohol, 11.5% alcohol. I mean, you could easily crush a bottle by yourself and
So we can
still,
drink
you
a
know,
whole
make
bottle
it to
of
work.
this. Like we
Yes,
can.
absolutely.
Okay, cool. I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah, just wanted to know, just for a friend. No, so we very much. I love those Italian style white wines where it's, you know, Fiano or Caricante or something. These red wine or white wines that are very just light, bright, crisp, crunchy. Um, this one for me, ceviche, shellfish, oyster, spicy Thai, Indian food. They do really well if you've got, you know, any sort of sushi with, you know, like unagi or salmon. They kind of balance some of that a little bit of the fattiness in those fishes. But I wanted to make something true to that region, and I think this variety does really well in Lodi. Um, Lodi can be warm. I mean, you know, obviously today's a perfect example, but this wine still maintains its acidity and its brightness. So we can pick at, you know, ripe levels, but sugar levels that are appropriate for phenolic ripeness, you know, physiological ripeness, but still, you know, acid pH levels that are really very balanced.
Real quick, what do you mean by phenolic? Can you break that down for our viewers?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably, you know, poor choice of words, but just the smell, how it tastes, how it looks in your glass, just how it feels on your palate when you swirl, sniff, taste, kind of roll, swash it around in your mouth a little bit and let it kind of fall all around. Just how it feels overall. Um, that, you know, being warm, some of the white wines in Lodi want to have, can be a little bit riper, a little bit more round, more lush, more plush, which is
Mhm.
not a bad thing. You want some of that in a wine, but you know, you don't want it to go so far where it's just kind of this thicker, viscous type wine that's not quite as bright and lively. And Vermentino does that really well, I think, here. And that, you know, and
Absolutely.
seeing inspiration, I think that was one of the other. I got friends that are texting me right now harassing me about, you know, from my haircut to everything else. So
That's those are good friends, man. Those are good friends.
oh yeah, Albert's asking me about Dove tacos. um but no,
What?
yeah, So, anyways, I love this wine. I love those wines from Italy, and I wanted to do something that was like, don't overthink it. Just pop a bottle. I'm fond of saying, pop a bottle, sit coastal, sit seaside, feel sexy, and have some seafood, and
Damn.
yeah,
I'm in the business of feeling sexy, man. So, I'm glad
yeah.
that you put it that way.
Business is good, right?
Oh man. um, for those of you guys, I'm going to go back to phenolic bitterness because I do think that phenolic bitterness is present in a varietal like Vermentino. And for those of you guys who are out there who are still kind of are curious about it, it's like it's very much a textural thing. It comes from the phenols in the wine, but I always pick up on phenolic bitterness like on the side of my mouth. It's almost like a textural thing
Yeah,
that you pick up
yeah.
here.
You're good right on the sides.
And
Yeah.
when you're blind tasting, sommeliers will use that phenolic bitterness as a hint or a guide to steer them in the right direction and let them know kind of like, hey, especially if it's a white wine, we might be in Italy here. So we always kind of pay attention
Yeah.
to like not just flavors and aromas, but we're paying attention to texture, alcohol, all that stuff. Obviously, Ryan mentioned that the
Yeah.
alcohol would be a little bit low here. So that's something to be aware of in the wine as you're tasting it.
Yeah.
So, Marianne, I'm glad to hear that you did get it chilled. Um, and then she also said that this is a new favorite. So you got one more believer
Oh,
out there.
all right. All right.
And then I
One
just
believer at a time. That's all we
one
need.
believer at a time. Best wines I've had from Lodi, and I'm a huge Lodi fan. Much love. That's from Luke Kenny. Luke, thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. Ryan, you brought all the
Right
people with
on.
you, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, hey, Luke. Yeah, Luke. Thank you, man. And I think it was Luke's birthday yesterday too. So
Oh,
happy
happy
birthday, Luke.
belated birthday, Luke. I hope you had a good
So
one, man.
no, I like Vermentino, and I think Lodi is one of the unfolding stories for Lodi. People come here for the Zinfandel. People come here for Petit Syrah, but Lodi can be. I think there's an equal story here for white wine from Lodi, and there's some other wineries here in town that are doing a great job with different white varieties. And if people that are want to be a little bit more wine curious and explore, I think Lodi's got some really fun things and approachable wineries and people for them to come see, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Man, you are totally right though about this wine, man. This is something that you can also, Aunt Nora, thank you, baby. I see you. For those of you on Instagram, you can't see Aunt Nora's comment, but she said, feeling sexy, you are sexy. And now I'm just gonna do the rest of the talk with this face.
International man of mystery.
I'm also loving that you gave the okay to drink a whole bottle because I'm about to put the kids to bed and Ralph is working, so it's all mine. Do it to it, girl. Do it to it.
There
Handle
you
that
are.
because it's tough being a parent. So take any break that you can while you can. Um,
That's
plus,
why I got into the wine business, Tesh, is real estate. I had to start making my own alcohol to self
right,
medicate
exactly.
for real estate.
No, so that was so that was actually something that I kind of breezed over. Two things I breezed over, and let me say this before I forget. For anybody who's watching and all my regular viewers, all five of y'all, let me say this. Jordan is back, so you might have noticed that things are probably looking a little bit more prim and proper on your end, and that's because Jordan is back, and I'm very excited to have him back. I missed him dearly. Doing the show without him,
Hey
I'm
everyone.
not gonna lie, it sucks. That's why I'm like over here like clicking on comments and shit and bouncing all over the place like a crackhead. And then I remembered that like, oh, Jordan's here. I don't have to do all that shit. So Jordan, I'm glad that you're back, buddy. I am also sad because Jordan is actually leaving California. He's still going to be with us. Whew, thank God. I messaged him on my way home from the club today. And I was like, man, thank God that he still wants to be a part of this because Jordan is the man. He brings a lot to the table. And then the other thing that I kind of breezed over was Nora, just go over and hang out with Marianne. You're cool. I don't know. Marianne, is that cool? Christy, thank you for being here. Appreciate you as always. Did you get your wines in time, Christy? That's what I want to know. Marianne said, "Yeah, but bring your own bottle, Auntie." That's cold. Bring your own bottle, Auntie. You can come, but yeah, this bottle's got
That's
somebody's
funny.
name on it. The other thing that I kind of breezed over, Ryan, was the fact that
Yeah,
you're doing both things, and I think you mentioned it, but maybe I just like you do real estate, but you do real estate like that is your job. Like you do that full time.
yeah,
And then,
right.
I mean, being
Yeah,
a
yeah,
winemaker
yeah.
isn't really a part-time gig either. You know what I mean? Like you work a lot.
No, 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 no. Our direct to consumer manager at the winery, Michael, who may or may not be logged on by now, he bristles when I say, it's a hobby winery or a hobby farm because it's a business. It's we've got employees and wine club members, and we love all of that. But yeah, the day job. I mean, Russ Fields is the owner, and he has a law practice up in Sacramento. My family's been in real estate here in the Lodi community for going back to the early 80s. And so nobody's quitting their day job. So, I have to go sell houses, and luckily I have family and support, mom and dad and a few other agents that work for us. So when there's about a 8-week window of insanity and harvest and crush. I mean, there's other busy times throughout the year, whether it's bottling and barreling and moving stuff around, but 8 weeks of harvest and crush, you want to be ever present in the vineyard, walking the vineyards, and
Right.
hard coordinating crews, and you're 3-4 in the morning. And anyway, so luckily I have very I'm fortunate where I can work both with my mom and my dad and other agents, and so I can kind of straddle both worlds and maintain some sanity without getting divorce papers in the process, which is important.
I hear that, man. I
So,
hear that.
yeah.
No, I mean
So yeah,
I'm doing the Sutter Club part time, and then running my business when I'm not at the club, and it's a lot. So and I know
yeah,
that real estate is very much running your own business. So yeah, no, we definitely get it, man.
yeah.
So no,
No,
but that
no,
is
we're
cool. It's cool
fortunate.
that you juggle. It's cool that you're able to juggle so much and then still put out incredible product. And for those of you guys who don't know, by the way, real quick, Jordan, if you can, throw up the link for both of these products. I have 4 bottles of each one, so I'd love for you guys to pick them up if you love them. So we'll put that in the chat on Facebook and on YouTube.
And
If you're on
let me real
Instagram,
quick tell your people, Tesh, real quick. I mean, I apologize. We were trying to get our website fixed before I got onto this deal, and our website is complete, just hot mess. Um, Shit show is what it should be called. So if you're looking for wines or have questions, my cell phone's out there. Contact Tash, contact me. But I apologize. The website's a hot mess right now, so don't try to do anything via the website
yeah, we should
for
be able
us.
to take care of you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, we should be able to take care of you guys. Sorry, I'm just sending a message real quick here. All right, cool. Yeah, yeah. If you guys run into issues with anything in terms of being able to purchase or visit their website, reach out to me and I'm happy to connect you to the right person and get you the wine. So this is Keely. Hi, Ryan, and Talk with Tesh. Fields is the best wine. Thanks, Keely.
Well,
I
she might
love
be
your
a little
name, by the
biased.
way, Keely.
I think you met her when your sister came through with your birthday party. She works in the tasting room.
Oh yeah, I did meet Keely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I started
So
watching this show. I'm to now. You talked about like I don't know how off tangent you get. I get really off tangent sometimes, Ryan. So I'm watching this great show called Ted Lasso. Have you heard of it at all?
yes, yeah. I haven't watched it yet. I've got it queued up to watch it.
That show is fucking incredible. Like it is so good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a show that like makes me want to buy into the characters right off the
Hmm.
get go as much as that show has. Um, since
Nice.
since I watched Scrubs, and I love Scrubs.
All right.
But yeah, Ted Lasso, highly recommend. Incredible show. And the
You're
whole
like
reason why I even brought that up,
the fourth big endorsement on that one.
Oh, well, see, there you go. The whole reason why I even brought that up was because there's one of the main characters, and her name is Keely. And I was like, man, I don't think I've ever met a Keely before, but here I stand corrected because I did meet a Keely, and I just suck and didn't remember because I drank a lot that day. Um, again, there's a common thing about hanging out with me. All right, so
Yeah.
so when I'm at the winery 2 months ago, nearly 2 months ago, we make it through the tasting and everything. Everybody's like wrapping up and like buying wines, and we're having a good time. Ryan kind of sneaks up on me with a little sneaky sneak, and he's like, "Hey, man," he's like, "I got something that I want you to try." And I was like,
I'm your
"Oh,
pusher. I'm your
yeah."
pusher.
He's all, "Oh shit, okay, cool." So he brought it out like it was a drug deal, and for that I appreciate him. Uh, and he was all like, "First pours on me, baby," and I was like, "Damn, you smooth, okay." Uh, so if you, for those of you guys who bought the kit, please pour yourself a glass of the Souci red blend. Um, this is this is a wine that like I tasted and I was like, I'm always kind of iffy, and I want you to talk about what carbonic maceration is, but I'm always kind of iffy when I see a wine of this color because I'm like, oh, you did something cool. But then you poured it for me, and I was like, God damn, that's hella good. And I turned to my wife, and I gave her the glass, and I was like, you have to try this. And she was like, damn, you should put this on Wine Talk with Tesh. And I was like, damn, you're right. And then I turned to you, and I was like, yo, give me a case or two of that. And you were all like, I only got one for you, homie. And I was like, all right, then. I mean, we'll take one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
take one.
peel one out. Peel one out.
Um,
No, it was kind of yeah, it was kind of one of those things where I said, you got to try this. I know what wines you and I have tasted together, and wines you and I have geeked out about. And I'm like, all right, man, I I hate to even have you taste this, but I got to have you taste this because this is one of my proud papa wines that I like, and it's a super simple red wine. There's nothing complex. You're not gonna age this for 20 years and pour it for your kids' high school graduation or anything. This is just a fun wine. These are the types of wines that I like to drink for as far as red
you
wine.
you did a killer job. Definitely a fan favorite. Somebody, Rick 375s said definitely a fan favorite.
Right on, right on.
Um,
And I
so
like
I'm
this
glad to
wine
hear
we were
that.
talking about. You were talking about before, temperature wise. We don't, not a lot of people talk about temperature, on reds and whites as much as I think they should, because I think a lot of people pull their whites, straight out of the ice box, and it's way too cold to enjoy. And in red wines like this, especially this one, a little bit of a chill on this wine, man, oh man,
Yes.
it's going to treat you right.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so tell us about what we're drinking. Why? Okay, so tell us what varietals went into it, and tell us how you made it, please.
So this is an equal part. So a very small production, which is why it was gone so quickly. But we only did about 75, 80 cases of this. But it was essentially one barrel of Cinsault. It was one barrel of Carignane and one barrel of Syrah. And I made the three wines individually separately. So whole cluster. So literally, as the wine is picked into the macro bin, which is the picking bins, the half-ton bins, the wines are picked into those in their whole cluster. The rachis, the stems are there with them, um, and they're brought into the winery. And no, it's not I Love Lucy, but they are foot tread, with rubber boots, not my bare feet,
Oh
and
man, I thought I was tasting that foot sweat.
no, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Uh, so no, and so the Syrah, the Cinsault, and the Carignan, they all were treated the same way. So brought in cold in the morning, picked foot tread, and what happens when you foot tread it? So I'll kind of do like an expedited version of this. But when you foot tread it, you are popping some of the berries. So obviously you're stepping on the grape cluster, but you're not popping all of them. And some of them will gently kind of separate from the stem. Some will kind of peel and tear away. Others will just remain whole berry and attached to the stem. right? So when you're doing native, ambient fermentations such as we are, um, over the course of, 2 or 3 days, those native little yeasties will get going. And so the juice that's in there from the busted berries will start fermenting, and some of the yeasties will get into the berry itself. And so you'll get an intracellular fermentation. So the little yeasties will start doing their thing inside the grape itself. And so carbonic is carbon dioxide, it's lack of oxygen or absence of oxygen. So you can have oxygen fermentation, which is a traditional fermentation, and then carbonic or semi-carbonic, which is what I say this one is, because it's certainly not the full lockdown carbonic fermentation, but there is a semi-carbonic nature to this. You're going to get some of that bright, crunchy, not quite like Hubba Bubba bubble gum, like Nouveau kind of carbonic-y, but you're going to get that bright, lifted red fruit. I don't know if my mom always had Christmas potpourri when I was a little kid, so it had the cinnamon and it had all the little flavors in there. And so when this is fermenting, to me, this smells like Christmas potpourri. You got all these crazy exotic kind of components coming out of it, and over time in bottle that will kind of meld away. Those primary characteristics will meld away into some of the tertiary components that you're tasting here because it's been in the bottle a little bit longer. So I don't know if that was too far down the geeky hole.
No, that was actually perfect, man. No, that was exactly what I wanted to know. Thanks for breaking it down for us. Does anybody have any questions about that? Because it is a unique wine and the way it's made. But I think it's absolutely stunning. And as soon as I tasted it, like I said, I turned to my wife and I was like, "You got to try this." And her first response was, "You got to put this on Wine Talk with Tesh." And I was like, "I don't even know if he has any. He brought out one bottle to show us, man." And also, Luke, your question is killing me, man. He said, question, comma, how do you? And then he just left. I was like,
Luke was pissed that you got a bottle of
finish
it.
the question, man. Let me know. How do we what? I really need to know. And I really want to be able to answer your question. So,
No,
so
Luke,
come at me.
was it Luke Kenny?
Yeah,
Was it
Luke Kenny.
Yeah, he's probably pissed off that you got some of it and he didn't.
Oh, hey man, we got the link. We got the link in the chat. You can order some from the website. I got some for you. Jeremy Reed. Do you remember Jeremy Reed? Have you ever met him?
I do. Yeah, I do. I do remember Jeremy.
He's watching right now. He said, "Go barefoot next vintage."
Oh, hey, Jeremy, what's up, man? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely not doing that. Let me just tell you why real quick as a funny aside. So in like 2013, we did like our first kind of whole cluster, and I didn't know. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna jump in there straight I Love Lucy and foot tread this stuff, right? And I'm stomping around and it hurts. It hurts. And I don't walk around barefooted. So, and then in the macro bin where I'm foot treading this, I see a black widow crawling over one of the side of the macro bin to the other macro bin, and I'm like, oh hell no, I'm going to Walmart, getting myself a pair of rubber boots, and that's the end of that.
Hell to the no.
So hey Jeremy, come down, I'll let you foot tread it barefoot. Come on down.
Well, especially if it have the stems on them too, right? I'm like thinking, yo, that's gotta be painful.
You want to exfoliate your feet and make them look all pretty? That will do a great job of it.
Yeah, for sure. My feet already look pretty, but yeah, thank you. I one too many pedicures, man. I got older sisters. They were like, "You got to go get your shit taken care of," and I was like, "All right, then." So people always weirded out.
That's another show.
It is, but I'm curious. I'm telling you, man. Like one of these episodes, I got to be getting like a pedicure while we go live and talk wine because I'm like,
I would do that with you. Let's. Can we do a live stream from the pedicure chair?
Why not, man? I'm down. Jeremy said it will change the wine. I'm going to say this as Jeremy-like as possible. Hang on, I got to get into character. It will change the wine stylistically.
That's very
There you go. I
serious.
hope that's Jeremy. Jeremy is a serious guy. He said, "I'll
Yeah.
gladly stomp the next vintage."
All
Um,
right.
to be fair, I mean, I don't know, Jeremy, have you had this wine? I think it turned out incredible. I think it's a beautiful wine. So tell us, Ryan, what we should be. Tell us what we should be. Sorry, Jeremy just said, "Oh my god."
Yeah, that's funny.
um, tell us what we should be tasting here. What are we picking up on? What kind of aromas? What kind of flavors should we be experiencing?
Yeah, so obviously a little bit of that strawberry kind of rhubarb, red fruit, cherry. I'm not very good at the descriptors. I'd like, you know, foot treading once, but found a lizard. Um, no, for me, I just like the vibrancy of this wine. I always say, if you look at fruit in the kind of the color spectrum of dark fruit, kind of that darker cherry, and then you get into that strawberry rhubarb, kind of that spectrum. And the very primary, when this is very first bottled, it's very vibrant, very crunchy, a little bit more in your face, kind of with primary fruit. This is now, I think, really come into a really pretty spot, and unfortunately it's gone, but it kind of melds into some of those tertiary notes where you get some flavor, or some texture, some character to this wine. For being this light of wine, I think it's got a really nice mouthfeel. I mean, you don't expect, in my opinion, a wine of Lodi to have this much going on, kind of made in this style. And it's definitely not one dimension. It's got a lot of different facets going on from the beginning, the nose, the palate, and the finish of the wine. It's a fun wine. I enjoy it. Uh-oh, you got kids breaking in on you.
Nah, man, but I don't have kids, bro. My son is 3. He's in the I scream for everything stage of life, which is just fucking thrilling. So we're trying to break him of that habit.
When you get to my age, you do the same thing.
Yeah, people are like, I wonder where he learned that from, and I'm like, you shut your motherfucking mouth when you talk to me. Oh man, I love Lucy. I love that episode. Classic. All right, I don't think I've ever like fully sat down. I've seen. Wait, hang on. She said, Aunt Nora said, "Don't be dissing Lodi." But who is dissing Lodi?
Yeah, I don't think anybody. I don't know.
Did I diss Lodi without knowing it? Oh, I was going to mention that earlier. In fact, step over, please. Sorry, guys. We're gonna have a rare instance here. We're gonna see Salomaka Chodo #2 joining us on Wine Talk.
All right. The
wrong,
heir
man?
apparent to the throne.
What's wrong, man? Did you just need to be out here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So nobody was dissing Lodi, but for those of you guys who are on Instagram, they can only see at the top of your head. Can I just lift you up and you can say hi? Hi. He's all, man, I don't want to be on the camera yet. Which is really funny because right before this, he set up like I posted a long time ago a photo of Eliza. She had set up like a stack of diaper packages, and she had flipped open a book and she was like, I'm doing Wine Talk with Eliza. I need you to be quiet. And I was like, oh, okay. Ev was doing the same thing just a few minutes right before we started. He had set up a computer and he was like, hey, Uncle James says hi. You say hi? Can you wave?
No.
No? Can you give knuckles to the camera? Like, how about right here?
No.
Come on, bro. Come on. Going back to dissing Lodi. So I had kind of some, I don't want to say beef with Lodi, right? But like a lot of the juice coming out of Lodi is kind of large production, right? And I feel like that's definitely changing, right? Especially in the course of the last few years. But the one wine that changed my mind about the whole thing was actually your wine. The Fields, one of your Zins. And I remember tasting
Yeah,
it and
you
thinking like,
like that was when we first met. I mean, we didn't know each other. We didn't talk much because Ricky, homegirl Ricky,
exactly,
brought me
yeah.
in to meet you, and we tasted the Stampede. It was the 2014 Stampede Zen,
Hmm.
and that was, it was a very brief interaction. Hey, dude, I like your stuff, and you give me the go on, kid, get out of here, and you booted me on out from your throne at the kitchen.
All right, that's good. Now get the hell out, man. I got shit to do.
Yeah. I'll take a case of it. Get out of here.
Yeah, no, but it
No,
was
no.
ended up doing great, man. We people loved that wine, and I was happy to have something at the kitchen that was very well represented for a region that I think doesn't have a. I don't want to. I'm not dissing Lodi. I just think that there's not a ton of incredible stuff, but I think that we're starting to see more and more good juice come out of there. Hence, winery like
No,
yours,
no, you should, like, people should come down. I mean, and you've
most
been a
definitely,
student now of Lodi. I've been coming and checking it out, but I mean,
exactly.
Marcus Neagley's been doing a great job, and some of his white wines and his reds are really great. I mean, McKay's doing like McKay's Grenache, like his, it's a Grenache Noir from the Abba Vineyard. I think it's one of the best Grenaches I've tasted in California, let alone just coming out of Lodi. It's a really, really nice wine. So there's some cool shit that's happening in Lodi. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
So
there are. Jeremy said, "Are you labeling with any Lodi sub AVAs?"
no, we're citing. We're trying to show what we're doing. We're trying to showcase the vineyard. So we actually got, yeah. I mean, you're talking. He's saying thoughts on them, but so we're doing, like, when we were making Tempranillo from McKay's Tempranillo vineyard. So it was lot 13 and referencing the McKay family. So we would make the Kirschman Zinfandel. We would reference Tegan Passalacqua as the farmer. The Stampede Zinfandel. We would reference the grower, the Perlagos brothers being the grower. So my focus is not. I mean, of course, it's coming from the Clements Hills or McCallum River sub AVA, but for us, it was important that it was Lodi on the label. It was vineyard designated, and we specifically mentioned our grower partners. And I want to highlight, our growers that are doing good stuff. So that was it.
For sure. No, I get that, man.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
no, this is an incredible wine. I think we put the link up in the chat on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you guys want to try it, or if you're not, it's really simple, man. Winewithtesh.com. Go check it out. And I think I have a few bottles of each one of these wines left. So I updated that inventory right at the beginning of the
Okay.
talk while we were still live. So if you guys
Why
want some
don't
more,
you grab Jeremy? Let's have a field trip. Let's have a sommelier field trip down in Lodi.
I like it. I like it, man. That would be fun. It was, man. Even just coming to visit you guys, and then we went to Oak Farm right after, and even
Yeah.
at Oak Farm, we were like, "Yo, man, like, yo, Lodi is actually making really good juice now." Like, you guys are. I'm really impressed with how far you guys have come as a AVA, and seeing these smaller wineries
Yeah.
make incredible. Are you all done? Okay, cool. Watch your step going over. Okay. Thanks for hanging
As
out
a
with
as a
me.
quick as a quick little aside, I mean, the cool thing about Lodi is you'll show up, you'll probably run into the owner, you'll probably run into the
Right.
winemaker. You're going to get a peek behind the curtain. I mean, if you show up at Fields Family Wines, you're going to probably see Russ out picking tomatoes in the garden. And, and you might even catch him and I, in a rare moment, having a glass of wine hanging out at the place. But, you're like, the neat thing here, I mean, Michael David, right? A million cases of wine, but Mike Phillips, Dave Phillips, they send people to our winery daily.
Do they?
Yeah. And I mean, so there's the big guys, I
That's
mean, they don't
awesome,
have to
though. That's
support.
great, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's how it should be.
Yeah, they don't have to support, us, but they're huge proponents of, supporting the little guys and kind of they've got their own mark and they're doing their own thing and very successful. But
That makes me
we
like
get a
them.
lot
That
of
makes me want to go visit them.
no, it's a great spot, great spot.
No,
So,
that's cool, man. I'm glad
yeah.
to hear that. Is there anything else that you want? First of all, does anybody have any questions? But be it on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, does anybody have any more questions for Ryan? And Ryan, while we wait for questions to roll in, is there anything else
Yeah.
that like you want anybody to know about your winery and what you do as a winemaker?
No, I just saw somebody's question in there. Sorry to sidetrack, but somebody was asking what Vermentino was similar to. I don't know if we touched on that, but
Oh, yeah, we talked
I
about
saw
where it
that.
came from, but not about. I think you mentioned is like if you
Yeah,
like Sauvignon Blanc, that you would probably like
yeah,
Vermentino.
and if you get into the European, Pagato, Verdicchio, that sort of stuff, you can find some wines that are very, the same or similar too. But no, I think I appreciate you. Having me on and talking about the wines, and of course, it's always fun to catch up with you and talk. You and I can have about 25 different sidebar conversations besides talking about the wine, but. No, I think having people come down and experience the winery and the wines and see what we're doing and trying to showcase the vineyards and the growers in an unpretentious kind of very casual, very kickback format. I think I think that's kind of what we're trying to put out here for our winery.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you're doing a great job. You do have one more question here. Are you going to do anything special this season? Whole cluster or a new Fields varietal?
No, JR, thank you for asking that. JR is maybe like tossing me a softball or something right now, but
It's like, hey,
no,
bro, here's something that you can knock this out the park for me, could you?
yeah. He and his wife Crystal, they just started their own winery in Lodi called Wilson Family Wines in Lodi. So you
Okay.
guys should check them out too. They buy some of our fruit. They make Syrah from our vineyard, but
Sweet.
no, we're gonna about in 2017. So we do Grenache Blanc for those who love white wines. We do Grenache Blanc as a standalone, of course, and then we do the Vermentino. But in 2017, for the first time, we did a blend of the two, and we're gonna do that again this year. That was a really popular blend, and Grenache Blanc and Vermentino play really nice together. You've got a lot of the textural phenolic components we were talking about, the weight, the viscosity, the body of Grenache Blanc, and then you've got like a lot of this pretty bright, more kind of lemon citrus driven acid stuff of Vermentino, and the right blend, the right percentage. So we're going to do a blend of the two. We're going to bring that back, and we call that Elysian Fields. And then we're going to the Souci. I learned my lesson of not making enough of that, so I think we're going to jump up production quite a bit on that to have plenty of stuff available. Yeah. So, and then Albert's got a trivia question in there.
I know. I saw that. Lodi or Napa or Sonoma?
Yeah.
My instinct would just tell me to say Lodi, but I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah, I wish I saw Stuart from Saint Amant. Stuart Spencer, I thought logged on briefly, but he would be the best. He would be the best one. But no, I think Lodi, vineyard acre wise, we're probably the tops in the state. But there's a lot of Napa and Sonoma wines that have Lodi fruit in them. If you get a chance to get out
Right.
on Highway 12. Get on Highway 12 this time of year and seeing the tanker trucks of juice and wine and fruit heading out west to Napa and Sonoma. It's pretty impressive to see the kind of Lodi as the breadbasket of high quality grapes. I mean, you can get an exceptional quality 110-year-old Zinfandel from Lodi, and you only pay $2,000 a ton. And
Right.
that's an anomaly. You go over to Dry Creek, Sonoma for similar aged vineyards, and you might pay $3,600 a ton.
Right.
Yeah.
Jeremy
So
Reed answered the question for us, folks. When Jeremy Reed answers a trivia question, that is the motherfucking answer. So he said Lodi, and I'm gonna trust him on that because I don't question that man. Somebody else
Yeah.
wants to know: are you going to make your amazing port again?
Yeah. We're last year, 2020, we haven't done port in like 10 years, and so last year we started that program back up.
Nice.
So yeah, we took a lot of we took some of our own wine, had it distilled down into brandy, high proof spirits. So we've got some really high quality brandy to fortify with and make some nice ports. And of course, we're growing Tempranillo, which is one of the noble varieties for port, Tinto Roriz. So um, we're going to play around with a little bit of port of Tempranillo and Syrah and see how that goes. But we're probably have a little bit longer barrel aging program on that one. So not easily or not readily available at this time.
Okay, cool. And then, is there a collaboration between Fields and Two Shepherds?
Oh yeah. William Allen, Two Shepherds. He is my roan brother from another mother on anything, anything and everything Roan. Um, so, yeah, he's big in Grenache Blanc, and he knows my love for Grenache Blanc. So he did, the Syrah Lee vineyard over in Russian River.
Uh-huh.
So they grew Grenache Blanc over there. So William and we did a collaboration. I got a little bit of that left. Next time you come over, we'll do a sneaky tasting on that. We kept a few in the
Those,
library. Bring
those are my
Jeremy with you.
favorite.
We'll taste some. Bring
All right,
Jeremy.
cool.
Yeah. So we did a 50-50 blend of Russian River Grenache Blanc and Lodi Grenache Blanc, and it turned out pretty amazing.
Awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool. Albert, man, you're not a moron, bro. We're all dumb about different things, man. You know what I mean? And that's one of the beauties
Uh,
of the world of wine is that there's a lot of stuff that some of us might know that another person might not. Um, or if you're Jeremy Reed, you just know it all. I'm just busting his chops now. Come on, man. No, it's the world of wine to me is very, very fascinating because you're never going to know it all. You can know a lot, you can know a good amount of information, even, but there's always
Gotta be a student.
you have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to adapt and adjust and go like, oh shit, I wasn't aware of that. And I find myself, because my priorities in life are running good programs. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I run efficient programs and I run wine lists and I try and curate wine lists that like make sense when somebody opens them. There's a solid offering of things that are familiar, but also a lot of offerings of things that like you probably don't know. So when I step into the sommelier scene, those behind the scenes thing, the curating, the managing cost of goods, those types of things, those things are really important to me to be good at.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you want to be the guy who brings more money to whatever establishment that you're working at, right? But I say all that to say that
Well,
like we're all dumb about different things, and for me, the bigger part of it is like being able to connect somebody to wine that they haven't had or heard of before is the beauty. When people's
no, I
eyes
think.
light up.
Well, talking to you, I mean, and Jeremy, I think when we first met him, was at Ella, but
Hmm.
seeing and back, I mean, a million years ago when Ella first opened up, Joe Vaccaro, was on the floor doing his thing, and
Yeah.
I think having a passion for what you do and making it approachable. I mean, there's there's wine can be intimidating to certain people, but running an awesome program with an eclectic wide ranging selection that kind of makes everybody happy. But ultimately you got to drive profit because that's your prime imperative for job security. But you also make people feel welcome. And when you're showing up, table side talking about wine or your people that you're training, it translates. It translates, and I think that's what makes wine so fun.
Agreed. Agreed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, cool. Well, Ryan, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink some more of this, man, as
I
well,
know I just poured myself some as well.
because it is
My
really,
my
really
wife's gone.
delicious.
My wife's not home, so I'm off chain tonight. I can do whatever I want
Ooh, nice, nice.
until she
Uh,
gets home.
and then, then you gotta whip it up. Better have that espresso ready, man. Well, no, man, we appreciate you making time and joining us. Um, for those of you guys who are interested and want to go to the Fields Winery, please reach out to me or reach out to Ryan directly. Please follow him on Instagram. He posts a lot of personal stuff. He posts a lot of wine stuff. Posts a lot of real estate. This man does everything. I admire him very much because as somebody who's trying to run a business while also maintaining a career in a relative field, right? It's a lot to manage. So show him some love on both occasions, be it wine or be it on Instagram. So I think you logged out on the other one, man. That's okay. That's all right, man. I was going to wrap it up here. I was just going to tell everyone that the next Wine Talk with Tesh will be in 2 weeks. We will have Joni Stewart on. Everybody loves Joni, so she's back again. That'll be a lot of fun. And the wines on the next one, just like this one, I can't wait for you guys to try them. Legit, like I had picked out these wines several months ago. And so I'm excited for you guys to have the opportunity to get them in front of you and to drink them. So make sure you get your Ons, Cave de Ons, Merlot Thurgau into the fridge before the next tasting event, which will be on the 22nd. We'll be live on all platforms again at 6:30. Joni will be joining us. What else? Next month, I'm trying to figure out whether or not we're going to do a wine talk with Tesh next month because I'm trying to figure out a fun way to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of winewithtesh.com, which is crazy. I can't believe 1 year has already come and gone, but it sure has. And so 1 year, man, 1 year, 1 week, 1 year of the website being live and me actively selling wine through the business. So I'm excited that I'm still here. I'm excited that I'm excited.
Champagne guy and some other the white wines that you've graced us with. So thank you very much, man. They've been awesome.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, thank you for buying the wines from me. It means a lot, and I know that. Well, you know, it's easy with you because you're a big wine guy, and so when I get in cool shit, and I'm like, hey, this is really cool. You're like, that just makes sense. Tesh told me it was really cool, so I appreciate your trust in me. Exactly, exactly. Right, let's meet off of Highway 5 again, and I'll deliver the wines for you. So Ralph, one of the things that I am considering is doing a tasting in person. Well, I would do like ticketed sales, and you guys can come and we would drink wine. So that's a possibility. Thank you, Christy, for saying congrats. Another thing that I was thinking about that it just kind of came up was potentially like getting a bus and like taking everyone for a day of wine tasting at a couple of my favorite vineyards or something like that. So I don't know what it's going to look like because I'm still trying to iron out what that looks like. But be patient. I'm going to say that very likely there probably won't be wine boxes next month, and that the big future will be just celebrating together in some way, shape, or form. I also want to be smart and make sure that people are safe and all that fun stuff. You know, I know that everyone has differing opinions on that, but you know, I think it can't hurt to be safe. So whatever we do, I want to make sure that it's safe and it's fun, and that you guys have a great time next month. So there'll be more on that. You guys will get an email. You guys will get Instagram posts, Facebook posts. I'll slather it everywhere, and maybe if you're nice, you might get a TikTok. Because Because I'm in my mid 30s and TikTok is definitely not for me, but I still pretend.
Keep the dream alive as long as you can.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in for Wine Talk with Tesh. Jeremy Reed, thanks, man. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you, dude. Appreciate your time and your energy, and just bringing your expertise and just having you be here. It means a lot. For those of you guys who don't know Jeremy Reed, he's a level 3 advanced sommelier, good buddy of mine. We work together. Follow him at JReedSomm, JREEDSOMM. All right. So yeah, go do that. All right. Until 2 weeks from now, we'll see you guys again. Ryan, thanks again, man. Take care.
Hey, thank you, Tesh.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Bye.
Good night.